Again, guys, does it work?
Could it work? Yes. Against Evos though? I don't think
Against
so.
Albert?
Against Albert though? I think they might be underestimating Evos.
All right, let's see if that changes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2, drafting phase, presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy S25 series. TLID now on first pick with the Matilda, Phoveus, Luoyi banned out this time around. They're gonna not let that slide into the hands of the White Tigers. Fanny and Jushin is also banned. So Joy is still open, Suyo is still open, Yi gets banned. Let's see what TLID pick up first.
That's interesting. We don't see the usual. I'm used to seeing Grangers, Carrots all the time. But right now, you're seeing a lot more emphasis on these magic healers or the utility, like the Matilda, the Phoveus. We haven't seen the Matilda in a while right now. But Team Liquid ID have gone for the Harith. It's a heal that Aaron Shiki is very proficient at. But for Evos, now they have their hands on the CC and they have that Suyo once more.
It's one of his comfort picks here, the Harith. But what are you gonna combo the Harith with here? The Joy is up for grabs, and that's why Evos went for the Suyo instead, right? Because if TLID go for the Joy and Harith, then it'll make it very, very magic damage reliant. For Evos, they can still, shuffle between mage and the mid lane for that magic damage. They also have the CC, and I think CC will continue to rise out as a prio pick in the first phase.
There's no reason why it shouldn't be a prio pick, but down is the response, and Team Liquid ID are indeed capitalizing. Now, they have a bit more of a front line, more utility with the Badang. Technically, the Harith can also provide a healthy amount of wave clear, but we have to see how the rest of the draft, rounds out, because otherwise they're going to be stuck in the same situations they were previously.
But remember, this is Iran's Badang, supposedly, right? I mean, it can still kind of flex on Witty, but yeah. But I mean, we talked about the problem with the Selena earlier on, right? We talked about the Selena paired in with the Gatot. We understand the function of it, but the wave clear seems to be lacking. So let's see whether or not this Badang goes to Iran instead of maybe pick up a Cho for Witty, because we know Witty is also very comfortable on the Cho. Ranger gets picked up from Evos as we head over to the second phase.
All right, both teams. And then for Team Liquid ID, the question of who's going to be jungling, what kind of tool you want to put in the hands of Fabian becomes a big question here. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of thought here to stopping the CC. Because man, whenever the CC gets rolling, whenever this hero isn't shut down, it is just awful to deal with.
We see the Hanzo ban as well. That's a good call made by Evos here. To ban out the Hanzo, the Valentina also gets banned out by TLID, so they're trying to really put the pressure down on Evos' mid lane, Natco. Without the low Yi, Valentina, what are you going to play? The Yi was also just banned out by Evo, so TLID might just go all in for the mid lane, taking every mid laner that can actually do well against the Selena, like clearing or having dashes, and then giving the Selena a better road to doing what he wants to do. And also, Lucas banned. So Lucas jungle has been coming up, I guess, in scrims for TLID, and that's why Evos have just banned it 2 games in a row.
Makes sense. The Jawhead also gets taken away from Key. We did see that Selena was also having quite some problems against the Jawhead, especially in the early phase of the game, and towards the end, it felt like Key just was always able to find moments with the Jawhead. So Gatot goes in for Evos instead, assuming it is going into Key's hands.
I think so. With the CC pick already in XP, I don't think that's flex, so Gatot should just go to Key.
TLID now, do they want to pick up Nolan for Fabian?
Nolan right here, a lot of good targets for him technically. It kind of fits the whole idea, physical damage in the jungle, a burst to kind of capitalize on the fist crack or a abyssal arrow, but I feel like it's going to be a bit dangerous right here, especially with all the all-in chase potential. It's going to be Khalid shown first, and along with that, it's going to be a Joy. Wow, they're just going all-in magical, dude.
It's the only option to go for right now. I don't think there's a lot of different options to eat. We're forced to go for the Joy or the Hayabusa. Hayabusa, similar problem to the Nolan, right? There's not a lot of targets. Actually, no targets to go for. Maybe,
Alpha, difficult.
Yeah, very difficult. Joy is the way to go here. It does look kind of sus because they have magic damage. They have too much magic damage, but they gotta do it. They gotta pick the Joy. There's, yeah, the Alpha wouldn't do too well either. There's a lot of CC and a lot of shred.
There's
the
no
Khalid,
front
though.
line.
The Khalid, though, yeah. I think they have frontline at Badang and Khalid, but CC. This is why the CC is so prio.
And technically, if they really want to win fights here, they have to try and stop the CC somehow, lock them down. So we'll see if they are able to do that with the limited amount of card control that they actually have.
Into the land of dawn, match point, ladies and gentlemen, for the White Tigers as Evos lead this best of 3 series 1-0. Can the Cavalry come back, force a game number 3? As again, it is their honor and it's their title that they're defending in this match.
See how this plays out, man. They got to catch up with the Revitalize. Still, for the side of the Evos, it's gonna be a bit more annoying to deal with. I feel like the Joy will also have to respect the potential for a very quick taunt to actually stop him from going in. So in the early game, though, I think Witty is gonna be trying to be as aggressive as possible on the Khalid. That's one of the stages of the game where this Khalid actually has extra value. Oh, look at this!
Up top, Erlan trying to go and get the Rhapsody. Oh, the flicker from Erlan to get the last shot. Unfortunately, he doesn't get it. But for Aaron, a sigh of relief.
That was close.
Very, very close. Erlan even took a turret shot in the final stages of that fight there, of that engagement. So, maybe a bit more careful. Weapon mastery though for Aaron Shiki. He's playing for that late game. But for Witty, Wither's Blessing and Agility, it's all about zooming across the map, providing the extra damage, and more importantly, the wave clear for the mid lane as well.
JCC again! The taunt into the Terrify and the Surge of Albert. First blood, he's on the board. And so far, the Selena has not been working out for TLID.
At all. And you'd think that the early game is where the Selena shines, right? Because Selena's one of those heroes that, you know, even before level 4, she already has most of her kit in hand. And Vexana's not even level 4 yet, but this is kind of the result that we're getting from the White Tigers. So again, they're the ones kind of dictating the pace. And how will this pan down as both teams are now going to be centering around the next neutral objective? Turtle, the first turtle.
Very big rotation here for the side of Evos. Reggie is already level 4, so there's no issue with him leaving the lane. Look at this. Team Look at ID wrapping around.
Reggie for the damage. Oh, Fist Crack 2 onto Reggie. There you go. That's the Fist Crack. Fabian will actually wait a bit. Albert is going to be chunked quite low as well, but gets the Soul Severed. Eternal God from Natco. Catches 2. Fabian and Witty both knocked him early, but Fabian is able to escape. AOG doesn't catch him. Just a turtle in the kill. Natco goes and shoots the Terrify out. Doesn't get it, unfortunately. Up top, still a duel. Audience prediction has shifted.
79% for Evos. Wait a second, baby.
Yeah, this orange bump might be taken away. Taking the retribution, but they do have enough damage to take him out. Go! Now around with the flicker forward. No Fist Crack available. Reggie's still able to sustain up, but Fabian assassinates him. Albert blinking away to safety. Fabian still playing with the rhythm, and Aran with the Fist Crack. He will be stunned, and Yehezkiel gets the kill. Now TLID in the lead.
There you go. Almost a 2K gold lead earlier on for the White Tigers, but TLID have now turned things around with those 3 kills now under their belt.
It's a great play for Team Look at ID to just move in and out of the fight there and eventually catch up to Evos. You can see that there's a bit more vision in what they're doing right now. In the first turtle fight, you saw that they were really trying hard to get Albert out of the picture before the fight begun. And Yehezkiel did land the Abyssal Arrow, but they gotta be a bit more careful because Albert is expecting that, right? He knows that there's a target on his back. He is him.
He is him. 1-1-1 at the moment. Not doing as great in game number 2 than he was in game number 1. And it feels like every time they go in for these team fights, this CC is kind of broken. She was on like a sliver of health, popped in the Vengeance, and was able to zone out 2 members from the side of TLID away. What's the plan against the CC?
But they gotta lock her down with the crowd control. That's why they have a Vexana, I guess. But look at this. Whoa!
Great flicker from Natco. Spots out that he got the taunt, that Albert was going to go for the surge. He just flickers to ensure that that kill goes towards Evos. Now Fabian, though, which beats Albert again. Too fast for Yehezkiel to catch.
Now with that, there's control by Evos on the turtle pit. I think Team Look at ID are gonna force it.
It's free. The arrow does land on Natco. It's a shot death Sonata over to Aaron Shiki. But for TLID, they won't be able to contest this turtle. It's taken for free, and Evos are looking for a turret.
It's interesting because Fabian was actually a level above. Do they not have the right firepower just yet? Is the timings just not right for team fights?
I think they were just concerned about not really winning up in the setup for that fight. Evos were already in position, and if Team Liquid ID approach carelessly, they get punished very severely due to, once again, for Evos having so much lockdown. The Vexana and Gato Catcher combo allows them to actually catch anyone and lock them down long enough to actually get a proper pickup. But Fabian now has a Starlium sight, so we'll have to see if Team Liquid ID tries to find some more.
Erlan's damage is not okay.
No, not at all. I wonder what item he's on. He's on Hunter Strike. One of the Skype here, sir. Key. There's a wall there, but it is just a GK. Gato Catcher. He's all good. Aran on a signature pick is stacking up those Thunderbelt stacks.
You can stack up the Thunderbelt stacks using the face crack on the Badang, which is quite interesting. It's like a range Thunderbelt proc technically. But oh, Aaron, whoa!
Jumps in. A lot of good damage there. Erlan just kites away as Aaron finally relieves off a lot of that Granger pressure off of himself.
All things considered, this game is pretty static, man. 3-3. Evos does have 2 turtles, but only a 600k gold advantage. So either Evos are slowing down after getting those objectives, or Team Liquid ID are just playing the lanes and the farming rotations that much better, because that gold lead is constantly going further down and down.
But the question is always, second.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage from Erlan.
What is that?
Luckily, Witty is around. That could have been a dive from Evos. Yeah, that's the Granger damage.
Evos' gold lead is actually increasing. It was 100-200 earlier before.
He's been getting the gold crabs Granger constantly, and also just been zoning Aaron.
1k now.
Look at Witty though, he's in prime position to try and surprise Evos.
Oh, whoa, still Albert is able to escape. The Eternal Guard gets placed down as well in the back. Albert unable to get in range there. But look at Aran, melted down. The arrow dodged away from by Natco. Great sidestep up top. 1v1. And a solo kill against Aaron. Goes to the wave, still trying to survive. Wow! Almost does it with a dash, a cheeky one at that. But Witty had the passive stack. Evos, though, will find value off of that solo.
Land of Erlan?
Land of Erlan.
Yikes.
That was looking kind of close, but Evos, they're not done. They have a wave on top right here. They can kind of pressure. Really can't clear this long enough without exposing himself to a potential pickoff. Evos, whoa.
Really wants some more. He revitalized. He doesn't have the AOG. He is stuck there, but look at the Eternal Guard coming down. The Radiant Sandstorm is there. Good stun. Aran cancels out the Albert Blade Surge, and now they're fighting under the Zaman Force. Another one. Fabian dives to the back, finds another kill, and it is TLID who are able to equalize.
It's a prop duo that gets taken down. Key and Albert. Unfortunately, there aren't any objectives for them to translate those kills over, but maybe it's enough for them to kind of reset the tempo that has already been built by Evos.
I mean, the gold lane now favors them instead. The fact that Evos fought in the Zaman Forest, that was a bold move for sure. Now with the Holy Crystal completed for Fabian, it's gonna allow him to do 1v1. Potentially, but also allowing to secure these neutral objectives way easier compared to before.
Finally, a turret does go down for TLID. They're going to be able to push in the tempo. There's some rotations coming from Evos. Witty should be able to spot this out. Oh, Missile Arrow?
Ooh,
Yeah, they're not going to commit onto it.
interesting. While that was happening, by the way, look at what Witty was doing. He can clear the wave, but he just stands there, holding the wave for his teammates instead, funneling the gold to the players that really matter in this composition. And look at this, Evos are starting to respect the presence of Team Liquid ID. Now with the gold lead, there's more kill pressure as well that Evos have to kind of consider before walking into precarious spots.
Now we're entering the mid-game, right? Talk to us about the differences of the mid-game spikes between both of these compositions.
I feel like for Team Liquid ID, the mid-game is pretty strong with the Selena, but oh, look at this.
Raging Sandstorm used defensively, but look at the poke from TLID. Key is forced to recall. Reggie is almost at half. First blast comes around. Reggie, current call over to Aran. That's a solo ult. Pops into Vengeance as well as Aaron Chicky goes in for some on-force. But Ebro actually zone him away from the Lord. Fabian claims it there. He has skills, so able to escape too as Aaron just continues to dish out damage with the Zaman Force on him. Good dodge from Witty. Over, away from the Death Sonata, and TLID, out of nowhere, claim the Lord and stabilize.
But that's mid-game that we were talking about, right? Fabian was also a level above of Albert, so even if they wanted it to go in for a 50-50, it was quite difficult.
Yeah, I feel like both teams, it's actually quite balanced. No one's like super. It's never one-sided when it comes to the early game to the late game. It just happens on. It depends on how the fight actually plays out. With Team Liquid ID landing the Abyssal Arrow onto Albert right before the fight began, it kind of forces the whole team to kind of move along with Albert, protect him, and that just gives Fabian the room to take the Lord away immediately. In that fight though, however, you saw that Key was able to take so much more damage. So maybe in the late game, the fact that Team Liquid ID are full magic damage can be a factor here that decides whether or not Evos can actually take it later on.
Both Joy and Harith, though, they deal a lot of damage, right? Even if Evos go for like Radiant Armor, Athena Shield, I think they have enough damage, like enough magic damage with the pen items too, to go through those defensive items. Like, I don't know, man. Joy's damage in the late game is ridiculous. Once you get the Divine Glaive full items, and it is the same for the Harith.
And remember, they also do true damage with the Starlium on occasion. Yep. So with a 3.6k gold lead for Team Liquid ID, I think items are going to start swinging in their favor. Now for Evos, the question is, do they want to try and play it slow, right? Delay a bit longer, or are they still feeling feisty enough to really go for a brawl once more? They did so when they had the gold advantage, but now that they're on the back foot, do they really have what it takes to kind of beat the odds here?
That's the big question. Right now, it seems like they're locked in their own base. They're trying their best just to clear the waves. I think Wee's also positioning in a really good spot. Looking for information, trying to catch someone to clear out the bottom lane as it is kind of freezed.
Still gonna hold there for a bit, but looking at the items here, for the side of Evos actually, Winter Crown for Natco. To understand that he's a big liability when it comes to dealing with some of these dive heroes. Wants to buy some more time for his team to kind of react. On the other hand, you can see there's a lot of focus over the magic resistance, but Sky Piercer still, for Erlan, only one kill to his name. It's looking quite difficult, especially now that Fabian, already with the Wishing Lantern and the Blood Wings, gonna be tankier, but also be able to shred Key, as well as Reggie, a lot easier if Team Liquid ID ever gets the right opportunity.
Wait, what? 2,500 gold lead for Fabian?
Yeah.
He's been clearing waves like crazy. This is, I would say the advantage of not having a CC in your team is you don't need to give out gold to your XP. The XP becomes a secondary roamer. That's why the jungle can snowball out of control as we get to mid-game. But when you have a CC, CC needs gold. So your jungle gets impacted by that. You can't go and take the side lanes, though. That's a good stun. Oh, this arrow connects as well. Reggie's locking him down. Fabian very low, still able to escape for now. Reggie pops into Vengeance, and Aaron Shiki might be able to capitalize with a fist crack from Aran. Oh my goodness, how has he done that? How is he surviving? Aran pins them down. Eternal Guard with with a raging sandstorm comes in around. McKee was able to get it. Albert blinks forward to his demise. Erlan still cutting away. Fabian on Key. A taunt. And an arrow dodged away from Natco and Erlan. Now, they need to rely on these two members. Aran is trying to isolate Key. He has done that. Fist crack again. Key is going to die. Aaron picks up the kill. Evos all the way back in base.
That's another Lord secured in for the Cavalry for TLID as they also rack up a 5,000 gold lead with 3 members taken down. It looks like TLID are utilizing that space and that momentum to get more ground on the map.
That was a crazy moment for Team Liquid ID. Initially getting almost a pick off, and then Evos rallying only to be hit with a massive fist crack. But Team Liquid ID recognized the potential for Evos to counter-engage themselves. So instead of going all in on the initial engage, they held back. And the moment Evos tries to capitalize on the rush of Team Liquid ID, it wasn't there. Aaron Shiki got caught low, but because they were staying further back, Albert couldn't get to him. And by the time Albert finally got a couple of spells off, got next to Aaron Shiki, it was too late. He gets taken out.
Imagine if Fabian died there.
Ooh, would have been a whole different story, I think.
It was so close as well. It seems like they had the right idea, but the finishing just wasn't there. And now the Lord is going to be marching there in the top lane. Let's see how they're going to be able to utilize it to their advantage.
They actually have very good clear with the CC, Ranger, Vexana, so it should still be fine. It could be a turret, but Not even that. AOG, re-engage from Key. An awkward one at that. Aaron Shiggy punishing Evo with a revitalized Eternal Guard coming out. Albert low. Yes, kill. Going for the scratch. Aaron gets the kill. Aaron dodging away. Now ulti yes, kill. He goes. 2 for 1. A base turret 2, and that will be taken by TLID. Fabian diving deep. The usurper and will continue to pressure Evos. You can take one game, but we are the defending champions for a reason.
Welcome to game